Molchan. I was a student at Western Kentucky University. I graduated in May of 2019 with a Bachelor's of Art in Anthropology and a concentration in Archaeology. I first came to the field with Dr. Nicole last year, so summer of 2018. I went with him with some students from Western Kentucky University and partnering with the National Museum of Mongolia with BIRA. And last year I loved it so much that I had to come back. And so I came back and decided to study ceramic analysis, particularly temper analysis for the ceramics. And we wanted to see how this temper changes throughout time. So in particular, we study the temper, how it changes from Bronze Age to the Turkic Uyghur period and the Khanuy period and Mongol period to see how this varies throughout time. Through this analysis, we can better understand local, regional, and interregional contact through what I'm studying is Khanuy Valley, which is in Arhangai, and then also Zumkhangai, which is in Uvs. So I study both of those regions to compare and see how the ceramics differ throughout regions in Mongolia. We also wanted to see if the pottery is being made by locals or if they're being traded. So through the temper analysis, we can actually see, are they getting the temper and the clay from local sources, or are they being transferred from different areas like Tuva or different areas of Mongolia? And so this ceramic analysis can really see how things are being traded throughout the region or if they're staying very local. We also wanted to see how different periods like Xiongnu, if they have standardized production. So during the Xiongnu period, are all of the decorations the same? Is all of the temper the same? Is the recipe the same? And so through the temper analysis, I can see exactly how it varies. And if it's the same, then we can realize that they may have a similar recipe throughout the region, and so there could be more of a standardization in the recipe. And we can actually see that during the Turkic Uyghur period, there is a design that we see several times throughout the ceramics. I see thousands of ceramics with this design, and it's a chevron design. And so we can see that there is a certain standardization throughout this time period. They know that they want to use a chevron, but we're trying to see how the temper varies. Does the temper, is it more coarse for like cooking vessels? And is it more fine for, nice pottery? And so analyzing this temper will allow us to see what perhaps the vessel form is and see what they use the vessels for. So at the end of this project, we're hoping to make an atlas of ceramic paste for the region. So for the region of Khanuy Valley, and for just a very brief summary of Zumkhangai, of the Uvs region. And so the atlas will allow us to grow off of that research. So all of the researchers can use that as a benchmark, and we can compare it to other regions of Mongolia and even other regions of southern Siberia to see how they differ or how they are very similar. So the atlas will actually go through the time periods Bronze Age, Xiongnu period, Turkic Uyghur period, and Mongol period. And you can actually see how the tempers change, how the decorations change, and use that for your own research. Working with BIRA and his archaeologists was absolutely incredible, and something that I loved working with last year, and I loved working with them again this year. They are more than willing to help me out with excavation. They're working with me with ceramic analysis, and they immediately know what time period these things belong to, so it helps a lot when it comes to identifying them. My analysis focuses on habitation sites. So in Mongolia, a lot of research has been done for ritual sites like the heriksurs or slope burials. And so we wanted to focus on habitation sites because I want to see how everyone lived. And so all of the ceramics that were collected and analyzed were actually from habitation sites, so winter campsites, as well as an open air Turkic Uyghur site. At this open air Turkic Uyghur site, we also found a kiln, so possible pottery production was also found. So my analysis has been really focusing on trying to figure out how they made this pottery at the Turkic Uyghur site and comparing it to the winter campsite that we found in Khanuy. One of the hardships that was, or one of the challenges I had, just was that I can't really speak Mongolian very well, but next year I will definitely learn a little bit better. The ACMS has already helped me with that. I've already taken a survival Mongolian class, but next year I definitely want to be more fluent in the language. But that really wasn't that much of an issue because the Mongolian archaeologists I work with are phenomenal and really, really easy to communicate with and more than willing to share their knowledge with me, whatever they knew. So it was actually really not an issue. I just wish that I knew the language a little bit better. Another issue or another challenge with the field is that working in the field and trying to get your electronics to work in the field is really, really hard. So we had about 7 or 8 archaeologists crammed in one small space. And with our equipment, so we somehow found room to cram 7 or 8 desks in this tiny room with our equipment around us, trying not to break anything. And very limited light because we had no electricity. So that is one of the hard things with field work, is that you have to work with what you have and find ways to make it work. So it's a challenge, but it's also really, really fun. And being in close quarters, you really get to know everyone that you work with, and I enjoyed that.